Good evening, traders. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for January 8th. Okay, so let's take a look at the futures first, as I usually do. We are gapping up a little slightly right here, but then we did pull back, and now we're riding this short-term trend line. If I were to actually here show you this trend line I plotted on the 5-day chart from the 3rd. January 3rd up until now, it's still riding this short-term trend line. Today, we kind of topped out at this 256 area, 257 area. The reason why I marked off this 257, it's basically a 50% Fibonacci retracement level ever since the high of the SPY when we first came right back down. So I'll show you that in a bit, okay? It's going to be a tough call tomorrow because the SPY has been running pretty good, and I personally think it does need kind of like a pullback day. Now, if this short-term uptrend line snaps tomorrow, the real question is, will it trigger panic, or is it just going to snap and bounce off this 255 and then come right back up and hit this double top here that we made today, hit the top that we made today? So I'm still kind of iffy on that. I really don't know how to call it yet, but most likely the way I see it tomorrow, it's going to be a chop day. For me as a short bias trader, I'll be looking for double tops to short from, and basically that's it. To be quite honest, I might not even decide to trade. We'll see. The setup has to be really good. Like if I'm looking for double top shorts, the stock has to be super extended. It has to make a parabolic move into yesterday's highs, or like a key resistance level for me to really take that trade. I think the action won't really happen until late open, so probably around the 11 o'clock area. This SPY in itself needs to make some sort of decision here, because we're kind of stuck in this wedge now, and I don't think it breaks out, because I don't think it has the nuts to break out just yet, because it needs a day to come back and relax. So let's take a look at the SPY. I know what you think when I bring in the SPY right here. It's pretty messy. Basically, I did plot this Fibonacci retracement here, and as you can see, this 257, this is basically a 50% retracement, right? And now I plot this just to take a look at the levels, but I usually don't even use Fibonacci's, but I have a few trading buddies that do really use them and trust them. So that's the reason why I plot them down and just want to take a look at it. Now, to be quite honest, how does this relate to my plan tomorrow? Okay, so here's that uptrend line that I plotted up. I think on the future side, I plotted this line right here, right? So I'll be watching for this line to hold or snap. I think the SPY in itself is going to gap up a little bit, test today's highs at 256, maybe even 257, which is the 50% Fibonacci level, and then come right back down, pull back to the 9 EMA here, maybe around this 251 level, and then we'll have to see from there if it snaps through or if it holds. We'll have to see from there. Also want to look into the intraday chart real quick. On the hourly chart here, I marked off a horizontal line. The 253 I basically called today, and as it broke out 253, it finished exactly where I called to at 255. So that's where we're sitting at. So we are gapping up slightly, looking for tests of 256, which was today's highs. I'm going to scroll back just a little bit more. Like 256 doesn't really have a significant level on it. The more significant level is actually 259.50s to 260s. That's what I'm looking for, probably around Wednesday or Thursday. However, it might reach it tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, if it breaks out, then all hell breaks loose, right? 257.5 to 257, we have that Fibonacci level. It's just tough to call. Like 257, aside from the Fibonacci and the whole number, I don't see a concise technical mark here at the 257, right? It's just the Fibonacci level. So I'm not sure if I want to trust it. However, this wick here on December 19th, this top wick, this is a mark that I can trust, the 259.35s, right? Yeah, so let's take a look at that. If I scroll up a little bit, today's highs, yeah, let's take a look at that. Anyways, so that's kind of like my thesis on the SPY. I know it doesn't mean much. To me, it's gonna be a chop day, or it's pretty undecisive right now. It really depends on what it does, whether it breaks from the wedge or the ascending triangle or the flat top breakout here. We really have to watch this. We are gapping up a little bit, so I do anticipate like an opening dip to hold and then rip. That's usually the thesis for slight gap ups. Let's take a look at some charts. Lots of plays, lots of stocks that are overextended. Within those, I picked a few that I really like. Foot Locker is first up. When I'm talking about overextension, you can take a look at this. This thing came from 47 all the way up to 57, 10 points, and it's already started to pull back, right? What I want to watch is a retest. We are gapping up, so maybe a cover pop and a drop, a retest of 57.25. That would make a double top. I will also watch 57 as well, which is a key psychological whole number. I'm looking for a cover pop at the open and then try to get short into for the profit taking pull, right? Bring it back down, target. I'll be looking at 55 first and then 54 and then the 9 EMA here. Yeah, that's basically it. Looking for a cover pop. If it opens flat though, I mean, I might even just take it right out of the gates here. I might take it right out of the gates using extreme small share size, right? Let's take a look here. Yeah, because it is holding a little bit under 56.50, and 56.50 is a key mark. If I were to mark it off here for you, you'll see it's this red candle's highs, and then we kind of tapped it around here. We are a little bit under it. If it opens flat, although dangerous, I might take it out of the gates and risk 56.70s. Okay, small size, and it might just dump right out of the gates. So that's Foot Locker. Next up, Lulu. Lulu, another very overextended chart. That's going to be the theme of tonight's watch list. As you can see, the reason why I picked this overextended chart over a lot of other overextended charts is because we have a very key, concise whole number here at 135, right? It basically topped out at 135 today. I am expecting it to test tomorrow at the open, cover pop, and then from there, I'm going to look for a short signal. If it pops right on over, I might give it a little room to 136 as well. Lulu can really move points, right? 136 is actually the correct spot that you watch. It's basically this red candle right here on the daily chart, December 7th. As you can see, we have massive volume here, and it's the highs of this day. So 126.25 to be exact. All right, so I'm going to be watching these two marks to cover pop and test, and then short it back down for the profit take, bringing it to 132 first target, and then 130 second target. Lulu. NVDA, not so much as overextended, but I did call a nice long on it. Although my key marks were kind of missed, but it did what I planned for it to do. We are running into a pretty key area here of 145. That's the reason why I picked this ticker. Just going to look at how 145 reacts tomorrow, right? If it gaps up and over, I'm still going to wait for the open and see what it does. I think it could get up to as high as 150 just to trap. But if it opens flat, though, I might just take it out of the gates and watch the dump right away, risking 145 over and under, just a little bit over 145. I'll risk nice whole psychological number here. Bring it back down. 140, 150 would be the first target, as it's this long top wick here, as well as this December 17th bottom candle wick here. So that's my short thesis on NVDA. DLTR. DLTR had a nice catalyst today. It was basically a hedge fund, and majority holder of DLTR sent a letter to the CEOs and the board of directors of DLTR, and they were talking about and suggesting changes that they want the DLTR to implement, perhaps even selling the company at a value of about 120, hence causing this massive gap up and run. However, I don't really have much experience with dealing with these type of catalysts, but just from the technicals alone, I personally don't see this as fantastic news. Just from the technicals alone, though, it is overextended. I'm going to watch the stock tests again, today's highs, which is at $99. And of course, I will mark off the key psychological area of 100. 100 is huge. I mean, if you're talking about key psychological areas, the $100 mark is, it really comes into people's minds. So as you scroll back and look into April, there's a lot of bag holders here at the 100 mark, right? More specifically, April 18th, where the stock gap up over 100 and then it started running. I think there are a lot of people who bought into this failed spike, and then the next day they basically lost their pants and probably are still holding through this pain. So this is the chance, if it gets to $100, that they get to come out of it and basically cut their losses, or that's where I'll be looking for a sell-off signal. So 99 and 100. And finally, we have ROKU. Okay, so ROKU, very extended here again. I'm going to look for the test of today's highs, the 43 area that would make a nice double top, right? The stock did close pretty strong, so I am expecting a gap up. If it gaps up above 43, I will be looking at 45, which is, first of all, a key psychological whole number. Second of all, 45 itself is a target for Needham, for the Needham analysts, right? They put out a buy rating on it, and their target is 45. So being a cynic, I think any kind of buy ratings that comes out is basically telling you where they want to sell, in my opinion. So I'll be looking at 45 if it gaps up and pop over this 43. And I think they want to sell from there, and I'll be looking for the rejection signal. Not to mention 45 is also a psychological whole number as well. If it gets up and over, I mean, aside from that factor, 45, I'll also be looking at this 4623 area, which is the 200 SMA. So if it comes as much as the 4623, that's where I'll be looking for a short signal as well. What my plan is to see, or what I want to see tomorrow, is a gap up, a little rip, and then a full sell-off right back down to my target would be the 50 SMA here at $41, $40.90 area. Okay, so the higher the better. I'll just watch patiently, and like I did today, wait for a confirmation snap, like a big snap and then a retrace and fail, and I'll get short into that. So that's my watch list this evening. I apologize, it's a little late. I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Make sure you hit the like button, If you haven't checked my recap for today yet, make sure you check that out as well. And share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Ciao.